That's all they talk about, right? And then they want to make 50,000 fucking slave movies of you being beaten by a white man and him calling, you know what I mean? That's what they give you guys. That's the best they can do. Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Mount Seir, modern day Mount Seir is Esau, Edom, man. Okay? So just like the book of Obadiah, the book of Ezekiel also talks about this as well. Okay? Mount Seir, man. Okay? Verse 3. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Okay? And Esau will be the most desolate nation. These other nations are going to catch the ICBMs too, but America, okay, the UK, these places, man, they're going to catch the most judgment, man. Okay? An everlasting desert, an everlasting blaze of fire is going to consume this place, man. Okay? Verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord thy power. Verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and I shed the blood of the children of Israel. Fuck yeah. But you know which nation did that. Okay? This can't be Ham. This can't be Moab. No. This is Esau, Edom. Okay? And Esau has a perpetual hatred for you goddamn you Jakes, man. Okay? It has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. Okay? When do we have those calamities? When we went into slavery. When we went into slavery, that was our biggest calamity. Every single time. And what were they doing? They were effing us up, man. Cutting off our food supply. Northern Kingdom as well. Southern Kingdom. Okay? We're hand in hand, man. Okay? Cutting off that food supply. Okay? Having us eat our own babies. Okay? Alright? Putting us on cargo slaves. I was watching a video on that, actually. I'm gonna make a sit down on it. But, you know, the woman was basically talking about how the transatlantic slave trade, the sharks changed their patterns still to this day, man. Okay? Just from the amount of slaves they feasted on, men, women, and children, throwing them overboard and all that. Because that's what they're doing. Okay, Esau thought he was going to bring millions and millions of slaves over, but he didn't do that, man. He only brought a few. Okay? Because a lot of the slaves were dying. Man, you should have seen the conditions, man. Because that's how Esau lives. Pissing and shitting on each other, man. That's all he's like, hey, they're going to be all right. Jake dying over there from fucking pneumonia, bronchitis and shit on the ship, man. Okay? You're on the ship and you're arm in arm with the guy. Okay? Pissing and shitting on each other. Okay? And there was some SA abuse on them ships too. Alright? Men and women. They were doing it to each other, and it's like, you know, like, man, this shit is effed up, man. You know? But hey, it's all good, man, because you know what? It's prophecy. Okay? This is why we said the Lord has that RICO case on Esau, man. Esau has been doing all these things for the past, hundreds of years. You know, a couple hundreds of years. Okay? That's just the beginning of slavery. But slavery is not that long ago, guys. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? Slavery is not that long ago. You guys are thinking that it's 500, 1,000 years ago that we had slavery. No, slavery was just recently. And you got to remember, 1,000 days to the Lord. Was it 1,000 days to the Lord? 1,000 years to us is 1 day to the Lord. So you got to remember that. What is it? Has it been a day yet since, you know, we've been in slavery? Okay? Because time in the spiritual world moves differently. That's what you guys got to remember. All right? This is why, man, that perpetual hatred. Esau's always had that perpetual hatred, guys. Always. Okay? This is in our calamity. And we're still in calamity because we're in captivity. We're vulnerable. All right? It says, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Thou hast not hated blood, even blood. Thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So blood is going to pursue Esau. This is why, okay? This is why Esau don't want you in power. This is why Esau's scared to have you in power. Because he knows, bro, if you had someone and you're beating on them, and, you know, imagine one day what they can do if they had power over you. They're going to do 10 times worse, man. And they're not going to have mercy. You're begging for, they're not going to give you mercy. You know? Right? Yeah. Okay. Verse 7. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Verse 8. And I will fill his mountains with the slain men. Okay, and that's what's coming in the near future. It's going to be slain men. Okay, those slain men. Okay, where's those slain men going to come from? Well, it's going to come from many places, but mainly war. Okay, World War III. That's what's going to happen, guys. Okay, World War III is a big prophecy, guys. That's the end all be all right there. Okay, a lot of these men are going to, it's going to be crazy. Okay, because a lot of these people are going to be destroyed, man. Okay, a lot of you people are over here partying. A lot of y'all are going to get drafted, men and women. Okay, because that's a new thing too. They're able to draft you women. Okay, go watch a woman getting arrested compared to a man. These women are going to be getting drafted. They're going to be getting dragged. Let me go. You know, that's what they're going to do. They're going to be drafting them prisoners. The prisoners ain't going to have no choice because you're property of the state anyways at that point. You're a freaking criminal. Okay, all right. And then on top of that, they're gonna draft you veterans. They're gonna draft you young men. It's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy, man. Okay. And if you think Esau gonna have mercy, he's just gonna throw that gun in your hand. He's probably gonna drug your ass up anyways, because that's what they do in the military. They actually drug you and shit. Okay. Them dudes on steroids and shit. They you know, what do you think those happens to those guys that have severe PTSD and they don't want to do it? Yo, they drug their ass up, man. Them men get drugged up, man. Okay. That's what Esau be doing. Esau loves his drugs, man. That's what he be doing. He be giving them psychedelic drugs. All right. In thy hills and in thy valleys, in all thy rivers, they shall fall that are slain with the sword. Verse 9, and I will make a perpetual desolations, and the cities shall not return. What is this really talking about? This is talking about the destruction that's getting ready to come. And it's going to come at the end of World War III, guys. Of course, we're going to have race wars, civil wars, and all these things, but the grand war that we're talking about is World War III. The big cities that's going to get slain, it's going to start with that, okay? But when it's totally destroyed, it's through World War III, guys, okay? Because there will be race wars in this country, okay? There's going to be race wars, there's going to be civil wars, there's going to be class wars. People are going to be fighting about any and everything. And some of the most important things they're going to fight over is resources, like food and water. Okay, so all you doomsday preppers and y'all don't know what's coming, man. Okay, and that's what the prophets had a hard time really breaking this down, because they're seeing it from their time. They're seeing it from their time period. They're seeing a gun in people's hand. They're seeing a fucking what is it called? A grenade launcher, a RPG. You know, because people really have that in the hood. They have that. They have all those things, and they have Glock 17s with a big drumstick on. Yeah, they have those. Okay. Verse 10, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Okay, Con, I want to grab other scriptures, but yeah, man, you get the idea, man. Okay, these cities are going to be desolate, just like all those post-apocalyptic. I think they call it a dystopian society. Okay, they call it a dystopian society, man. Okay. Basically a post-apocalyptic, there's still a kind of a society, but it's post-apocalyptic, okay? And the people, the government's fall. There's no government, there's no police, because that's how life used to be. You couldn't just pick up a phone and call 911. That's why these women are so comfortable. I don't need no man. Watch them go back to that society. Okay? My belief, my own vain opinion, I think briefly we're gonna go back to a dystopian society for a little bit. Okay? Okay? That's what I believe. Just for a little bit, though. Okay? And a lot of these women start cleaving to men, man. Okay? Because there ain't going to be no government. They always talk about government shut down. Man, once the government shuts down, man, I hope you guys know that, first shot, I know it's shot. Yeah, I hope you guys know once the government shuts down, it becomes a police state automatically. So the military's is instated as a government, okay, and then the police officer or rank or whatever they call it, police officer, chiefs, whatever, they turn into military as well. So instantly when the government falls, guys, this is why martial law is declared all the time, because the martial law is declared by the military, okay. And then what happens when the martial law happens? It becomes a police state, okay. That's what happens, guys. So when a government should, that's why I said it might be a dystopian society for a little bit, just a little bit, okay? Because Because that's what's going to happen. The Lord said it. The Lord said, thy border shall be closed off. Ye shall desire to go city to city, and ye shall not be able. Why is that? Because it's going to be a police state. It's going to be martial law. Okay? That's what's going to happen, man. That's why I believe, in my own vain opinion, we don't know how this is truly going to go down, but I believe, okay, for a brief period, we're going to go through a little bit of a dystopian society. Okay? That's just my belief. Okay? My own vain opinion. Okay? That doesn't really matter, but, you know, that's what I believe, man. I think we're going through a little bit of a dystopian society for a little bit. Okay? And that's when people are going to, you know, try to band together and shit, you know? Women are be cleaving onto men. Elect men to be precise. Okay? This is John chapter 8 and verse 14. It says, Yahawashi answered and said unto them, though I bear myself record of myself, yet record is true, for I know whence I came, whither I go, but ye cannot tell whence I come and whither I go. Okay? So the Lord, okay? We don't know when the Lord is coming back, man. Okay? We don't know. Okay? We don't know. But we know that these prophecies have to take place. Oh, God. It's locked in.